a week before coming here, he decides to go and fell some trees at the fishing lakes and chopping wood for the wood burner. I just find that ridiculous, really. It's a bit like a footballer on the eve of an FA Cup deciding to go out and do a personal best squat or something. It's just mind-blowing.
I agree wholeheartedly with that, because in situations that we will compare with previous champions, what would Phil Taylor have done in the 2 weeks before World Championship? He would have wrapped himself in blankets, making sure that he didn't get a paper cut, never mind a splinter in his finger.
Taylor, before a Worlds, wouldn't even meet anybody outside his unit for fear of catching a flu or a bit of a cold, or his food would even be meticulous just to make sure that when he arrived here, he was prepped and ready. And
practicing with his driver at home in Stoke.
It wouldn't matter. He practiced with his grandson. It wouldn't matter as long as he was throwing darts.
But it was 6 or 7 hours of practice.
Absolutely,
wasn't it?
He was super match fit. He was a guy that, listen, I suppose it's a bit like comparing Tyson Fury with AJ, right? One of them looks like this monster, this Adonis, this muscle-bound, fit beyond fit. Yeah, it's Fury that could do 12 rounds, and Phil Taylor was very much like that. He was always match fit. He would walk for miles a day. He would practice this race to, whether it be 7 or 8 or 9 sets, it wouldn't matter to him. He would make sure at every eventuality he had every base covered. He was meticulous in his preparation.
So Luke Littler is the biggest name on the scene at the moment, particularly to those of you who are, occasional darts listeners or viewers. But let me give you these stats, because I read this earlier. I've since he came on stage at Ali Pali last year, played 11 on that stage in front of us, 110, 8 ton-plus averages, and 114 maximums. And only 7 players in history have more ton-plus averages.
Look at you, Dance.
Than Luke Littler. It's extraordinary. And you think about the sheer volume of players that have stood on that stage, and he's 8th on that all-time list of 100 averages already.
Yeah, and he will do incredible things for as long as he's involved in the game. I don't think he's going to have a long career. I don't think he'll, it's a bit like everyone compares the Taylor record of 16. To have a career that lasts that long nowadays in the modern game, it ain't going to happen.
It isn't. I mean, Littler's 17, 18 in less than 3 weeks. He could have a 12-year career. He'd be done by 30, and then off and doing whatever he wants after that. But there have been
talkSPORT breakfast.
Maybe there have been many words used to describe different sports people when they have been on the scene for 1 or 2 years, and even when they've been on the scene for 20-25. But I think the correct word that suits Littler right now is impactful, because of the stat that you've just mentioned. When it comes to this place, he's impactful here. Wherever he goes, he leaves an impact. And if he didn't have the Nuke as a nickname, the impact wouldn't be a bad one.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, he's special. I can see him. I don't know how long he's going to play, but I could see him making enough money, sort of generational wealth, and going, right, I'm going to try something else. Might take up golf or something. I don't know what he'll do, but I don't think he's the kind of kid, because it's a bit like Michael. If they play each other in the final, which is what I expect to happen, it'll be a bit like Michael when he played Taylor in the Masters of Dart. Remember the cross-code tournament?
Oh, in 2006.
Yeah, in 2006, a 17-year-old kid, and he was 17 at the time, and he was tearing it up. And then there was this lull in his career. Littler's not going to have that, because he's just built different. And when in the early stages of Michael's career, it was incredible, but he didn't win the Worlds as a kid. He won the World Masters, of course, but then it didn't quite work out for him. And he had a period where, listen, even I was beating him. Everybody was beating him. Every time I see him, he was in tears because he couldn't handle it, because he was that good. He couldn't handle the fact that he couldn't win. But then when he joined the PDC, he's not, players that maybe, again, like the casual view go, oh, he ain't going to lose to Chris Mason. We played 6 times, I beat him 3 times. There was loads of me around at that time that if you weren't quite on it, we would beat you. We weren't world beaters, but we were good enough to certainly beat somebody who was not on it. and he wasn't on it.
He makes a good point, actually, because I look back at my record with Michael. I'm very proud of it. He might have smacked me for the last few years, but in the early part of the European Tour, which started in 2012, I was the only person who had beaten him twice. And I beat him twice in 6 months. One in the last 16 match and once in a semi-final. I'm really proud of that, and in retrospect, it feels even better. But if you want to compare apples with apples, what about Van Gerwen's debut at a World Championship in 2007? He played Gary Robson, who, funnily enough, played a lot of his darts in Bedlington, where Dobey's from, and Gary Robson won 3-0. This is when Michael was world master at the age of 17. Littler's debut, he makes the final of Ali Pali. So it's slightly different.
And smashes his hero in the process.
In doing so, and during the course of 2024, only July and September were months where he didn't win a title. But let's hear from him after his win against Nathan Aspinall last night in the quarters. He spoke to our talkSPORT colleague Mark Wilson, did Luke, and he told Mark that he was happy to start the new year with a victory.
Yeah, obviously it was starting the year off very well.
Minute 40 on this.
Okay.
That's all that mattered today.
Just one more quick one with Mason, Nick, and then we'll get to the break,
and
okay?
Sleep, wake up, play.
Lovely.
You don't like having days off.
Don't like it. Well, it's a good job you're not getting many at the minute. What does it feel like? You seem so relaxed. You seem so, what's it, not bothered? You're just taking everything in your stride. It must be getting to you at some point.
At the minute, not really. It only got to me against the Ryan Meikle game, and obviously I've progressed. Dug deep against Ian and Ryan, and I dug deep tonight, but I flew away with it.
With hindsight, that game against Ryan Joyce, was that just what you needed, him pushing you all the way like he did? It seems like it's tuned you up and you've gone up a gear.
Yeah, obviously he said he didn't have power scoring, and then he's pulling out obviously what I'm really good at, leaving finishes after 9 or 12 darts, and that's what I said to him at the end. He said, you've got no power scoring, but you've hit everything at me. But I felt like against Ryan I needed a test, and it was a good test.
I think you threw 8 12 darters and 2 11 dart legs tonight. Are we going to see a 9 at some point before you go?
Hopefully. Obviously you've seen I went back to back at one point, started the legs off with 180 many times, and then had a sloppy 56, 57. But when you're in the mood and you know how well you play, and I'm sure it might come.
10 seconds.
A target? Seriously, is it a target to get a 9 here?
I'd love to. Biggest stage of them all, hitting the 9. Obviously,
Stand by.
People have done it, but I'd love to add my name to the list.
Yeah, Luke Little chatting there with talkSPORT's Mark Wilson. We've had 2 9-darters already in these championships, courtesy of Christian Kist and Damon Heta. Thing is, both those players lost.
Yeah, it's a curse.
The curse of the 9-darter this year. Got the perfect leg, but went out in the same match. And remember, a 9-darter nets £60,000 for the player. The title sponsors give £60,000 to prostate cancer research, and £60,000 will go to a random member of the audience.
However, if Luke Littler hits a 9-darter, the title sponsor of this tournament can't give him £60,000 because it's illegal.
Oh.
Village Hotels have stepped in and said they'll give him the 60, our sponsor.
Correct. See,
every day's a school day with these two. I learned so much at the heel of Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason. We will take a listen to Luke's opponent, Stephen Bunting, shortly, the People's Champion. You're listening to coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship with Village Hotels. Find rooms for a little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com.
The World Darts Championship
is Luke Littler, who is through to a second successive World Darts Championship semi-final.
Starting the year off very well. It started off with a win, sleep, wake up, play again. That's what I like. I don't like having days off.
Believe me when I say he's staring through the board.
Littler being involved, he's really took it to another level, and yeah, long may that continue, because that's unbelievable.
Tops he needs, tops he gets, and another Shanghai checkout on 20s taken with consummate ease by Stephen Bunting.
No matter what he touches, it turns to gold.
Every time I walk on that stage with the crowds getting right behind me, it is so emotional.
Let's go Bunting, mental! Let's go Bunting, mental! Na, na, na.
But this is not an exhibition, this is business.
Alexandra Palace, the setting for the PDC World Darts Championship semi-finals, live and exclusive, darts on the radio here on talkSPORT. Ian Danter, Paul Nicholson, Chris Mason with you for all the build-up. We will bring you Chris Dobey against Michael van Gerwen first up, but then it is Luke Littler against Stephen Bunting in the second semi-final. We've heard from Luke Littler, let's hear from his opponent, the People's Champion, Stephen Bunting, and he's told talkSPORT that he is fully focused on the challenge ahead.
It's all about what I can do, in my opinion, and yeah, I've kept myself level-headed all week. The fans have been brilliant, and yeah, thankfully I got over the line, and I weren't too worried about what he was doing.
Well, speaking of that, the last time you were here in the last four, there weren't fans here, and you had one hell of a game against Gezi. We were talking about it earlier, me and Nico, the fact that they ran out of space on the scoreboard for all the ton plus finishes. I think there were 13 between you, but it must please you so much to know that, all right, A, you're in a semi-final, but B, that people can go Bunting mental to watch you play in it.
Yeah, no, of course, and obviously to be in any semi-final, whether it's the World Championships or any of the other tournaments on the PDC circuit, it's such important. I think I've gone up last year coming into this. It was well number 25, I think. I'm well number 5 now. So it shows that the hard work behind the scenes is paying off. I've had a brilliant season. Maybe not on TV, but listen, I'm in the semi-final of the biggest tournament in the world, and I've got every chance to win it if I prepare and do the right things at the right time.
That's Stephen Bunting chatting with me after getting through to this semi-final stage. He's second up against Luke Littler. Paul, Chris, how much does his... If we leave aside the semi-final that I mentioned in that interview, which was here but behind closed doors post-COVID against Gerwen Price, how much does his BDO World Championship win inform the way he handles tonight and even potentially tomorrow?
Not much. You've got two great players in Bunting and Dobey. You've got two elite operators in MVG and Luke Littler, and they are night and day. Yeah, they can beat each other on every given day. Not in this race. Not in this race. The elite, the cream, and MVG and Littler are the cream of our sport, and that's all it is. And I worry about Bunty. All this, it's all a bit premeditated and manufactured, and all this. You know,
the People's Champion stuff.
Yeah, it's like. Listen, he's a lovely kid. I love Bunty to death. He's an absolute superstar. I love him. But just worry about the dart. There's a time and a place for all of that. It ain't in the World Championships.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mace on this. I think in a social media generation, it's easy to say, I am the People's Champion, but I've got a point to make about this, and I'm not going to go too much, because I adore Stephen. I've known him for 25 years, known him since he was 16. But the fact is, yes, he is the new world number 5. But in 2024, he has not won a ranked tournament.
Nope.
He's been a great event player.
6 finals.
6 finals on the floor, and he won the Masters nearly 12 months ago. But that was not a ranked tournament. As a result of what the PDC are starting to do by turning things in the right direction, the Masters that Stephen won is now going to be the PDC World Masters, and that will be a ranked event. But if we're being strict on this, Bunting has risen up the rankings by being a rankings hoover, not winning tournaments. That in itself is impressive. But you want to be the People's Champion? Or do you want to be
a champion?
You've got to be a champion.
Said it about Alex Higgins. He was the People's Champion of snooker. but then he did win a world title in the end.
Two of them in the end, and they were legit. I can remember playing in the BDO. Well, it was then the Embassy. And seeing Stephen Bunting being awarded the Young Player of the Year award when he was a mere whippersnapper, and he's had an incredible career. But all this whole switch from, listen, you can keep all that social media nonsense. It ain't my game. I don't like it. I think it's a distraction for him, and I think at this stage it should be all about the stage, and the stage is right in front of us now, and the player he's got to face in Luke Littler, he don't worry about all that. He wants titles. I'll
say one more thing very quickly about Stephen. Let's be fair, he's won the Masters, he's won 2 other ranked PDC events in 11 years.
Yeah.
Chris Dobey's won the Masters. The year before Stephen won it, he's got 5.
Which still isn't enough.
No.
It ain't enough. It's
Well,
nowhere near enough.
Stephen Bunting's up against Luke Littler in our second semi-final. We've got Chris Dobey against Michael van Gerwen. First up, it is high time we got an odds update ahead of the get-go with our friends at Ladbrokes.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Alex Apati joins us from Ladbrokes, and I warn you now, Alex, you're up against Chris Mason and his highly thought out acca, so you've got to come up with the good stuff here. So we'll start, Alex, with Dobey van Gerwen that's up first. What have you got for us here?
Yeah, good evening, gents. Look, first of all, it's worth mentioning MVG is actually the best backed player to win the tournament. So nearly 40% of all outright bets still standing have been in favour of Michael van Gerwen, and he's a short price to win tonight.
He was too big, wasn't he, at the start? Was he 10s?
Yeah, exactly. There or thereabouts. So Littler still odds-on favourite in the outrights, but van Gerwen most popular in terms of value. He's 2-5 to win tonight, and you say this format does suit him. You know, Chris Dobey would have to throw something pretty special over a long period tonight, and not to say he can't do it, but it's definitely advantage 3-time world champ, isn't it? So Dobey is just shy of 2-1. I think it might be the first time he's been an outsider in this tournament so far this year. He's 11-1 outsider to go and win the whole thing. Look, between them last night, 26 180s and 5-6 says they match that or better tonight. And if you fancy a 9 data in this one, 7-1 says either player hits one. Other specials, 10-11 for 2 or more bullseye finishes, and 1 for all the pub players out there. Any leg to finish on double 1, 7-4.
Ooh, that's interesting,
nice.
Especially with how twitchy Dobey is on the finishing.
Well, that's really fascinating, because yesterday Chris Dobey left double 1 from 182 for the first time in this tournament in 14 years.
Yeah, I like the handicaps tonight, and I'm all over this. MVG minus 2.5 sets is 11-10, or it was earlier, somewhere around that. And I think that's a punt.
There you go, Alex. He's throwing it back at you now. Come on.
No, it's hard to disagree. I mean, a brave punter would be backing Dobey tonight, but look, I mean, he's got this far. He's no mug, is he? We know that.
Yeah, but he hasn't found the levels. You know, his averages are 95, 97, 91 and 95. You compare that to MVG, who started with a 94-85, improved to a 97, improved to nearly 102, improved to 103. There's a, you know, if it was on a graph, one would be spiking like someone like an art monitor, the other one is just, he's in an ascendancy, isn't he?
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to Stephen Bunting, Luke Littler, we were talking on our Aces and Arrows podcast, Alex, about Luke Littler, and Mark Wilson, our colleague, was saying, well, all the bookies just want people to back anybody other than Littler. But what about this one against Bunting? I presume you've got him as heavy odds-on favourite.
Yeah, odds-on favourite. I mean, Littler, he's 2-9 to come out on top tonight. I think Chris said earlier, you know, Littler was so short going into the tournament. He was favourite. He's not been that well backed, to be fair, in the outright betting, because people fancy value elsewhere. But look at this one tonight. I mean, 16-5 Stephen Bunting is to cause an upset tonight. He's obviously popular, and no one, to be fair, has laid a glove on him up to this point in the tournament, but this is obviously the toughest test yet. So looking elsewhere, Littler, king of the hockey markets, these are always popular these days. So to win, to hit the most 180s, and to have the highest checkout, Luke Littler is still just even money for that outcome. 16-1 Bunting and 4-1 for a 9 data in this one. That is very much weighted by the Luke Littler effect I mentioned.
4-1.
No wonder you're all millionaires.
Oh, I was going to say, I was laughing at 8 to 1 last night. It's 4s now.
Alex makes a point.
Well, how about this? How about this one? So Littler. So it's 4 to 1 for a 9-darter in that game. Luke Littler is 5 to 1 to hit a 9-darter in that game. Stephen Bunting is 20 to 1.
Now, Alex made a point. No one's laid a glove on because no one's averaged over 92 against Bunting.
Yeah,
he is absolutely at a cakewalk, the dream draw. But tonight he's going to have to produce because he ain't going about someone having over 92. He's going to be worrying about someone having over 102 because I've gone Littler minus 3.5 sets.
Right.
It's an 11 to 10 double that pays 7 to 2. I think nearly 7 to 2, and I think both players will move through the gearboxes tonight.
Mace is right because last night Stephen Bunting went a little bit to sleep in sets 3 and 4 against Snakebite and still won both sets. That's not happening tonight.
No, the focus will definitely be there. Alex, thank you very much for all your input.
Cheers, gents. All the best.
Thank you.
All the best,
4
Alex.
to 1 for a 9-darter.
Yeah, that's so mean.
That was a look at the latest odds with our friends at Ladbrokes. It's 18 plus, and the website you need for all the info is begambleaware.org.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our odds boost button. Selected markets apply to the first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
What were the odds years ago for a 9-darter? 125 to 1?
Yeah, they would be. Yeah.
Yeah, 25 to 1. About 7-8 years ago, 25 to 1.
Not now. We're about 15 minutes away from the first semi-final here in the PDC World Darts between Chris Dobey and Michael van Gerwen. We'll focus on that match next up here on talkSPORT. You're listening to coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship with Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com.
Step up to the Ocket for exclusive coverage of the 2025 PDC Darts World Championship. Tomorrow afternoon from 12:30, live on talkSPORT 2.
That is something special!
talkSPORT 2 hits the bullseye with live and exclusive commentary direct from Alexandra Palace as the giants of world darts clash in pursuit of the Sid Waddell Trophy.
It's double two!
The 2025 PDC Darts World Championship. Tomorrow afternoon
Hello.
from 12:30.
Sorry, say again.
Live over on talkSPORT 2.
Okay.
The World Darts Championship live on talkSPORT with Village Ho-Ho Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the Big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
The M&S sale is now on. Get up to 50% off your winter essentials and updates for your home. Or shop smart and get your gifts for next Christmas. Whatever you're looking for, there's never been a better time to find it all at M&S. Shop in store today or online with the M&S app. T's and C's apply.
The UK Poker Championships are back at Dusk Till Dawn, Nottingham, with a massive £500,000 guaranteed main event prize pool. And you could win a seat at the online Day 1 table hosted at GG Poker on the 21st of January for as little as £1. Find out how you can
on the stage. What more could you possibly want?
This for the match and a place in the semi-finals. He's done it! Chris Dobey!
Crowd was fantastic. They were my side for a lot of that game, and that kind of got me through again.
And Dobey these days is made of stern stuff. He's made of granite. The man from the northeast waxing a maximum.
Van Gerwen for the match. Gets it! Michael Van Gerwen is through to another World Championship semi-final.
There's an element of confidence, everything that Michael does right now, and it's great to watch. He is one of the greats. He looks relaxed. He looks focused. He's in his bubble. This game is setting this place alight right now.
We're at the PDC World Darts Championships on talkSPORT. Darts on the radio. The two semi-finals are about to get underway. The first of which is the three-time world champion Michael Van Gerwen, who's not lifted the Sidwell Trophy since 2019, up against Chris Dobey from Bedlington in the northeast. And after Chris's quarter-final win over Gerwen, Price, another former world champion, Dobey told talkSPORT he's confident he can win the thing.
Yeah, of course, I believe I can win it. It's just on the day. You've just got to take each date that comes, and yeah, I'm playing some good stuff. I'm still yet to show my best up there, and I've got a lot more to give, and it's just on the day. If I can get through this match, then who knows.
You're into the final four here. Do you think you've done enough to play yourself into the Premier League?
No, I don't want to think about too much of the Premier League. If I do get chosen, then I'll happily take it, but there's still a lot of work to do. There's a good chance that I can be selected, but I'm still focused 100% on this competition, and I'll be ready for whoever comes out of this.
How much of a better player all round do you feel you are now compared to 12 months ago?
Yeah, I feel I'm much better. I think you've seen in my floor game, my TV game hasn't been great, but I've kindly pulled it together for the big tournament, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next one, and hopefully I can keep performing.
Is it in many ways good that you've got an afternoon and a day to prepare now for the biggest game of your life?
Yeah, of course. It is. I'll have a nice chilled day now, relax, get a bite to eat, and yeah, you can get a lie in tomorrow. I've been here early the past couple of days, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Chris Dobey, who takes on Michael Van Gerwen in our first semi-final here at the PDC World Darts. And it's important, Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson, that in that interview 12 months ago was mentioned, because he was 4-0 up in a quarter-final against Rob Cross. Cross came back and won 5-4. That hurt Chris Dobey, but he seems to have got over a bit of a wall by getting through to this stage now. And
no, he capitulated against Pricey. He was fortunate that Pricey just, well, couldn't finish his dinner, never mind a leg. It was woeful, and we said it in comms. I did the comms on that game. He was 3 from 3 in the first set, and I said, if he starts missing doubles, you watch what happens. And he has got a mental weakness when it comes to finishing, because he just, as soon as he misses one, it's in his head and he's gone for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. And it was just the fact that Dobey just kept giving him opportunities, because he couldn't close the door on him. And he was very, very lucky, because if Dobey would have lost that set that would have took it to a final set, he was gone. He was gone. Pricey would have beat him.
Absolutely right. I think we've seen when he crossed the line at the Masters, it took him a little bit of time to get there. He got there against Cross. Obviously, when he played Rob here 12 months ago, he only got one match dart, and that was to win by 5-2. That he shaved the bullseye wire for a 1-2-4 finish to win 5-2. He ends up not getting another dart for the match, the entire contest, and the last set went 4-2. I've just been looking at Chris's 3 biggest averages on this stage. They all came in last year's tournament: 103, 102 and 102. If he does not average in that region tonight, he does not win this game, in my opinion.
And he's got nowhere near those kind of numbers this year. And I love Dobey. Listen, those 4 sets against Rob Cross are probably 4 of the best sets you'll probably see in this championship. He was incredible. This year, though, or since then, he's got nowhere near those kind of numbers.
Meanwhile, Michael Van Gerwen is averaging 100 for this tournament and looked ominous in his quarter-final. And he told talkSPORT after that quarter-final win, he's very happy with the way that he's playing.
you have to move on. But I'm with my performance, the way how I played, and I think this gives me a lot of energy towards next game.
Well, how pleased are you? You seem to be getting better as the tournament's going on as well, Michael.
I hope so. That's why you're here for. Do you know what I mean? No, but to also produce it, we all know I didn't play my game in the last year, and I could have done a lot better. But then to answer back with the way how I'm doing at the moment, it feels really good.
So semi-finals to come, you know what those are all about here. It's Chris Dobey up next. How do you feel about that one going into it?
I think Chris Dobey, nicked that game, I think, because I think Gerwen Price was looking a lot better in the early stages, but he collapsed and he couldn't do it at the moments he had to. But that's darts as well. It's tough. It's a tough game sometimes, but I don't need to look to anyone else. I have to look to my own performance, and when I look to my own performance, then anything can happen.
Michael van Gerwen as open and as honest as he always is in interviews. And if you check out our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, you'll find loads of brilliant content on there. Interviews with all the headline makers here at Alexandra Palace during the course of this tournament. We launched the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel here at Alexandra Palace for these championships. And there's also watch-alongs with all the matches that take place. We have a camera in the commentary box so you can see us watching the players directly in front of us on the stage. Quick word on Michael van Gerwen, then Paul Nicholson, Chris Mason, and we've talked about the way his form has dipped. He's not won here since 2019, but against Callan Ridge in that quarter-final, we saw something that the rest of the field should fear.
Yeah, he had a huge examination, and I always think that any player that goes on to win this tournament, they have to dodge bullets, they have to find a way, and a player that ultimately does go on to lift this title often has to find a way, and he found a way against Ridge. Ridge will feel like, how on earth did I lose that game? He had darts to win set 1, he had darts to win set 5. There's a 2-set swing. He could have won 5 sets to 2. That's how...
In match play legs, it was 18-16,
yeah, if it had been in the match play final, he'd have won 18-16, and that's how hard MVG was pushed, but he had an answer, and that has not been there in the last 12 months.
We have a theory, don't we, Mace? Because there's a certain pal of Michael's in the building tonight who, in the background, back in the Netherlands, is someone who is very important to Van Gerwen, and he's starting to push Van Gerwen into becoming the next phase of his career. There have been 3 phases of his career. Early, domination. Now it's a case of what he can do next. Vincent van der Voort, who's played at this championship, made the quarterfinals himself. He is a fierce catalyst for the next stage of Michael's career.
And Nico found a stat, and I'm not going to steal his thunder here. Michael van Gerwen's average across all of his semi-finals in World Championships is 103.5.
Wow, semi-final average. Do you think that Chris Dobey will have spoken to Callan Ridge because they're mates? Will they have spoken today? Because Callan's obviously downhearted. He's not at this stage, so you have to be careful. But yeah, he shouldn't be. But you have to be careful about approaching dart players after they've been knocked out of a tournament that was quite sensitive. But do you think Hollywood would have called his mate and had a bit of a debrief with him about how that went?
There will have been interaction, let's put it that way. It might have been via text, might have been a call as Callan was on his way home. I don't believe that Callan has stuck around to watch, but yeah, there will have been interaction. And knowing Callan as I do, as we do, I think his message to Dobey is go and get him. That's got to be the case. Get him from the off, because you can't give this guy a lead. Van Gerwen, when he's on form, the kind of form in this tournament, he will front run to the end.
And we've spoken on Darts on the radio, whether on talkSPORT 2 or indeed here before on talkSPORT, about the way Michael van Gerwen's throw has changed and evolved over the years. But despite the fact that it has changed seemingly for the worse at times, my word, how it clicked into gear against Ridge.
Yeah, Taylor's throw change. It's just an evolution process, and if you're cute enough, you can work with it, and he's developed it, and right now it's working.
Mace, thanks for the time being. Chris Mason will be back with Mark Wilson, and they will be commentating on the second semi-final, Luke Littler against Stephen Bunting, that comes later tonight on your home of darts on the radio. talkSPORT. Meantime, myself, Ian Danter and Paul Nicholson are sticking around because MC John McDonald is about to make the introductions for our first semi-final.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live on Sky Sports from the
talkSPORT.
Alexandra Palace, London! The semi-final stages of the Paddy Power World Dance Championship, all brought to you by the Professional Dance Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands joining us live and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to meet the players from England, taking part in his 9th World Championship and into his first ever World Championship semi-final. The winner of 5 PDC titles, the former Masters champion, ladies and gentlemen, Hollywood Chris Dobey!
So Chris Dobey from Bedlington in the northeast of England makes his way down the walkway to the stage wearing his regulation black and white darts jersey in homage to his beloved Newcastle United. How he would love to be on the pitch at St James's Park brandishing the Sid Waddell Trophy to the Geordie faithful, the same way that Luke Humphries was able to do at Ellen Road last year to the Leeds United fans. And Dobey, who's known as Hollywood for a very specific reason, for those that don't know, Paul Nicholson will explain.
His friend Gary Reid, who runs the social club in Ashington in Northumberland. Well, Dobey turned up and he said, "Oh, you're a bit Hollywood, aren't you?" And then all of a sudden it's stuck.
Taking part in his 18th World Championship and his 9th World Championship semi-final. The winner of 157 PDC titles worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the 3-time champion of the world.
Pick any nickname you like. Mighty Mike, MVG, the Green Machine. Doesn't matter, he's a phenomenon in darts, but he hasn't won this championship since 2019. He is desperate to become a 4-time world champion. And the way he played against Callandridge in the quarterfinals suggests that his focus is as good as it could possibly be to achieve that by tomorrow night, here live on talkSPORT, your home of darts on the radio. And these two met only a couple of years ago, Paul Nicholson, in the quarterfinals at Ali Pali. And Van Gerwen handed out a bit of a slapping to Dobey that night.
And that was Dobey's first quarter-final. He would go on to improve the following year by getting 4 sets against Cross. And the year after that, Dobey would then win a quarter-final. His entire career has been about gradual progress. My point about Van Gerwen is this, though. He has lost 3 finals at this venue. 2013, 2020 to Peter Wright, 2023 to Michael Smith. Think about the great Eric Bristow. He won his last World Championship in 1986. He would take part in 4 more World Championship finals at the Lakeside after that, but would never win again. Van Gerwen has not won since 2019. Greatness is no guarantee of more success. If you want another one, you have to go and get it.
And Van Gerwen knows that as well as anybody. Now, it is the best of 11 sets. 5 legs to a set. And Chris Dobey has won the bull backstage, so he gets the first throw in the odd-numbered sets as we get underway. But straight away, Michael Van Gerwen is looking for a maximum and starts as he wants to go on. The first 180 of the match with a second visit to the board.
Unbelievable. It's so loud in here. live on talkSPORT, we couldn't even hear Hugh Ware, the referee, calling the maximum. Astonishing stuff. Van Gerwen is starting like a bullet out of a gun.
Yeah, couldn't match the 180 from the first visit, but 140 will do nicely. A reminder about what a 9-darter means for a random member of the audience here, should it happen. 4-1 with Ladbrokes, honestly. Well, it might happen.
Do you know something, Dance? The tickets for tonight were like hen's teeth. Looking out at this audience tonight, they're all raising their 180 signs and standing up for the loving the darts. But I'm seeing a myriad of flags. I can see an Austrian flag, a Hungarian flag. I've seen Scotland, Wales, Sweden, all over the place. And it's 62 for Dobey, with Van Gerwen on 88 to take the first leg on the bull. Just short, so Dobey can take the first leg in either 14 or 15 darts.
Treble 10 for double 16, or 52 left, so 12 for tops. Double top for Chris Dobey to hold throw. And he's just underneath in single 20. Now Van Gerwen will go 9 for double 8 from 25. Double 8 just on the wire outside. 1 dart left and he's pinned it. And Michael Van Gerwen breaks the throw to start set 1.
Second leg, Michael first. Game on.
Well, now we can hear the referee a little bit. Hugh Ware is the ref, flanked on the right-hand side by official Charlie Gardner. And on the left-hand side, the experienced Welshman, Andrew Davies. But Van Gerwen's semi-final record at Alexandra Palace is an exceptional one. Played 8 semi-finals, won 6. He has lost to Gary Anderson in 2015, somewhat famously, but more famously in the 2018 Championship. The greatest game ever heard on talkSPORT, the 6-5 with Rob Cross, the first year that Darts on the Radio was here. That was unbelievable, but not for Van Gerwen because he lost.
And don't forget, he was also involved in the greatest leg of darts ever that we brought you a couple of years ago, where both him and Michael Smith were on 9 darters. Van Gerwen missed. Bully Boy hit. Well, there's another maximum for the Green Machine, taking him down to 100 in this second leg. Dobey back on 347 less these. And a 140 doesn't get him down to a finish, so Van Gerwen looking like he means business early on. Tops for an 11-darter, how about that? And Paul Nicholson throws me a look as if to say, oh boy.
Oh no, this is ominous. Look up the word ominous in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Van Gerwen doing what he's doing now. And I just wonder what kind of effect Vincent van der Voort being here for the first time in this tournament, his best friend, an opponent his whole career, but most importantly now, the person who is giving him a kick up the rear to get him back to winning ways. He's sitting in the most important seat in the VIP area where Michael can see him. Dobey's not done in this first set. He leaves 2-2-4, but that's 850 maximums in the tournament.
Which means £850,000 at least for Prostate Cancer UK, the charity to benefit from all these maximums. It's brilliant work. Dobey hit that maximum there. Now he's down to 84, so a chance to hold throw. Van Gerwen back on 306 in this third leg. If you're just tuning in, Van Gerwen took the first 2 legs of the first set. But Dobey wants 84 here, Nico.
He does. Looking at the treble 20, short of it by half an inch. Gets a treble 16, needs double 8. Just misses on the right-hand side, so that's 2 darts at a double in this first set. Missed them both, but has a guarantee of coming back on double 4 with Van Gerwen, looking to leave a finish from 269, which he does.
But it's Dobey's doubling that has been the weak link. He's been very good at the scoring. What about the doubling? Well, that's more like it. Pins double 4 and gets a leg on the board. But Van Gerwen still has that break. 2-1 up and starts with a dart right in the middle of the treble 20 and comes downstairs and picks off 6 19s. Fantastic start to this fourth leg. Van Gerwen really looking focused.
9 darters don't need maximum scores of 180. They can start with a 174 just like that. He's got another treble 20, Michael Van Gerwen. Doesn't get another. Everybody in the audience hoping that one is hit tonight. He might be their lucky night as well as Michael's. 2-3-2 Van Gerwen. Dobey on 444. looking down the barrel of losing this first set.
Coming downstairs as well to look at treble 19 Dobey, but only hit singles. And Van Gerwen trying to race away with this first set. We've barely played 5 minutes.
57.
And he's close to a finish. Not quite though, 175 he's got left, but Dobey way back on 386. They were set to meet here in 2021 in the COVID tournament, which was played behind closed doors, but Van Gerwen contracted the illness and had to pull out, so Chris Dobey beat him by virtue of a walkover. Could be a walkover of a different kind if he's not careful, Chris Dobey. Back on 2-4-6 with Van Gerwen lurking on 75 points for the first set.
Yeah, just leave a finish just in case. He only gets to 150, but Van Gerwen was on 75 to win the first set by 3 legs to 1. Single 17. Just takes a little pause there. Obviously wasn't comfortable on dart 2, but does get the single 18 for tops. And the finishing in that first set for Michael Van Gerwen, Dance. 3 from 5, and he's staying at that 103 average level.
It's what we saw against Callan Ridge. He took care of that Geordie. And his next Geordie opponent is feeling the heat already. Michael Van Gerwen takes the first set by 3 legs to 1. Second set coming next here on your home of darts on the radio. talkSPORT at the PDC World Darts Championship semi-finals. race to 6 sets. That's what the magic number is to get to the final tomorrow night, which will be live on talkSPORT. And Van Gerwen averaged 103 for his 3-dart average in winning that first set by 3 legs to 1, and that was against the throw. So Van Gerwen has the darts as we start set 2. Ian Danter and Paul Nicholson in the commentary box here.
Yeah, perfect start for Michael. Breaking the throw, good level of play, excellent doubling, couple of maximums. A perfect settling set. Dobey has to answer quickly. There will be another break after set 2. But if he's 2-0 down, he won't panic. People have come back from that deficit already in this tournament many, many times. And the biggest benefit of playing best of 11 sets is if you get off to a bad start, you still have a chance of a big comeback.
Don't forget the live football back on Saturday across the talkSPORT network with game day. Reshman and the team will be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham against Chris Dobey's beloved Newcastle United is our early kickoff on talkSPORT. Over on talkSPORT 2 at the same time, a humdinger of a Championship Northwest derby. Blackburn and Burnley do not like each other. They meet at Ewood Park at 12:30. That's live on talkSPORT 2, followed by Manchester City against West Ham United. That's our exclusive at 3 o'clock, not on the telly. Darts on the radio brings you this second set with Dobey starting well against the darts. He's got a chance to break here, Nico. 93 needed.
Yeah, this is a really good start for Chris. 93 turns into 74 with that single 19. Treble 14 is good. For a clinical 12, he needed double 16, but he has got the gift of coming back because Van Gerwen started slowly in set 2, leaving 2-1-8 after 12.
And this is what happens with these short 4-minute comfort breaks that players take between sets. Sometimes a player doesn't want to go off stage. They just want to keep on playing, keep that continuity of performance. Dobey benefits from the break by having a bit of thinking time, and he breaks the throw at the start of set 2.
Perfect start for Chris. First semi-final in a World Championship for him. Flying the flag for Bedlington, for his beloved Newcastle United, and I'm sure the dream for him over the next couple of days is to hoist that trophy and then be invited to St James's to walk it out in front of the likes of Bruno and Joe Linton and all of the guys down there like Alexander Isak. That's a dream that he has. He just won't say it out loud.
A trebleless visit from Dobey. Went round the board chasing a treble on 20s, 19s, 18s and found none whatsoever. Van Gerwen with a 140, nice and steady. Van Gerwen won the first 9 meetings between these two. Dobey finally got the better of MVG a couple of years back at the European Championships.
You've got to get that first win against someone who has had the better of you at the start. It took Gerwen Price 19 attempts to get a win against Michael Van Gerwen, and since then it's very even. Well, Van Gerwen was on 3-0-1 there with 2 treble 20s and decided to go for the bullseye with the last start. As a consequence of missing it and getting a small 3s, we've left 178. Dobey on 210 here with a 140 has a chance to double his lead. When he comes back, he'll have 70 points.
Van Gerwen hits treble 18 from 178. 94. You can hear Hugh Ware calling the score there. 94, leaving him on 84 for the leg. But Dobey getting a look at 70 here. Oh, he's hit single 4, 66. So he's got to go 16s. Single 16 leaves the bullseye, and he's just south of it in the 25, just underpitched.
That's where Van Gerwen might have to go for 84. Doesn't have to. Treble 20 hit on the left side, and a double 12 right in the middle. That's an immediate break back for MVG. When he won his first World Championship back in 2014, he beat Peter Wright in a final, taking out 72 on tops. His green shirt, or should I say his MVG green shirt, because he owns this colour. It's all of a sudden 1/3 black and 2/3 the MVG green now. It's evolved the same way that he has.
96. He's aiming for his 7th PDC World Championship final tonight, Michael Van Gerwen. 3 wins and 3 defeats in his previous 6. He would still be, if he made a 7th final, he'd still be 12 behind Philip Douglas Taylor in that particular statistic.
Well, if he makes the final tonight, Dance, we will dive deep tomorrow on talkSPORT about people who have made multiple finals. I've got an extensive piece of research about it.
84. Now Van Gerwen using treble 19. Dobey's using treble 19 a lot in these early stages. He's not happy with his first start at 20s. Now he's going at 18s from 308. And gets 7 18s, which is a good visit. But yet his first start typically at the moment, Nico, is dipping below the treble 20, so he's coming down and picking off treble 19s as and when he can.
He was saying post quarter-final yesterday that if his first start is good, everything will be better. It's low again from 182 here. The cover down the 19s is low as well, so he's probably going to have to use the 18s again here. Decides to go to the 17s instead. It's trebleless, but it is a guaranteed look at 126 to take the third leg of the second set. Currently 1-all.
You can hear the speed with which Van Gerwen gets from dart 1 to dart 3. Chris much more of an aimer. Van Gerwen's left himself on double top. Dobey 1-2-6 to break the throw again. Needs treble 19 for bullseye. He was just south in the last leg, and he's just north of it this time.
Michael, you require 40.
Double top for Michael, the number 3 seed. In it goes 2-1 to Van Gerwen in set number 2, and he took the first set of this contest by 3 legs to 1, so it's all going Michael's way to this point. That first start of Dobey has got to improve, otherwise you can't win a game against Michael Van Gerwen if you're constantly covering around the board.
And he's doing it again. He did pick off treble 19 on that occasion. 123 for Van Gerwen, just that errant second dart into treble 1 next door. And again, Dobey's first dart below the 20, and again he's shaking his head and muttering to himself. 97. Picks off the treble 19. It's been his friend, but he needs more than this, and he knows it.
That first start of Dobey, yes, it's got to change, but how does he change it? If his natural aiming point is not working, he's got to slightly raise it or loosen up the arms somehow to get a bit more power. Another 7-18s visit there for Dobey. 2 trebles and a single to leave 182. Van Gerwen back on 320, but not for long. Here he comes. 140 is not enough to get to a finish, but it's a nip and tuck leg, this one.
Dobey was on 182 in the last leg as well. Again, the first dart dips below treble 20, so once again he runs for cover on treble 19, but picks off 6 of those. That's much better. 16 for double 16, the outshot for Dobey to level up in set 2. Van Gerwen won the first set 3-1.
Huge play coming up right here. Van Gerwen leaves 120 and Dobey on 48 for 2-2.
Hear that silence, relative silence. The crowd engrossed in this already. Dobey wants double 16 for 2-2 in set 2, and he's got it. Now he's got to try and break the Van Gerwen throw, but he's done it once already in this set.
Now, this is what set play is all about. You can do whatever you want in the first 4 legs, but if it's 2-2 and you have a bad 5th leg, you're going to lose dart matches at this venue. Dobey's first start is prime this time. Has to attack it all the way. 140 is good enough to accompany Van Gerwen in the mid-300s here after 3 darts thrown.
Well, Chris Dobey, the Masters winner in 2023, got through to the Premier League. He was announced as a Premier League pick that night, late on in January, and then beat MVG in the final in Belfast on night 1. Just picks off another 6 19s on the cover. 134 is good. Pressurising the Van Gerwen throw, but here comes the green machine. Treble 20, then single 19 twice, and he's not happy with that. Just a roll of the eyes from the Dutchman.
Yeah, Dobey on 227 here has a beautiful chance of breaking the throw. 80 with his first 2 darts, so that's a treble 20 and a single. And down for the 17s and gets 3 of them. And before Van Gerwen joins Dobey in the finishing zone here in the last leg of set 2, where are they starting the Premier League in just over a month?
40.
I wonder if this is a sign. It's Belfast.
96.
So, 96 Dobey, treble 20 would leave double 18. 76 left. Again, that first start drops into small 20. He was going for double 19 twice. He's won a match with that double-double before tonight in these championships. But he's left 170 open for Van Gerwen, but he can't take it. Remember, that's the biggest finish available on the board.
96.
Takes 96 out of it, but Dobey wants tops for an equalising set, Nico.
Listen to the crowd. They want him to close the door. He's going to need double 10. That top shot was really low. Double 10 is left. Big dart at 5s. He splits all 3 and leaves 5 points with Van Gerwen, now dressed up in black and white, to steal this set.
Treble 14 hit for double 16. Outside, 1 dart left. He's got it. Set 2 for Van Gerwen. The door left ajar by Chris Dobey, and MVG smashes through it to take out double 16. And Hollywood has a rueful grin on his face as he exits the stage. Next 2 sets live here in your home of darts on the radio, talkSPORT 2. But it's Michael Van Gerwen 2, Chris Dobey 0 in this 11-set match. On semi-finals night with Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com. Ian Danter and Paul the Asset Nicholson with you in our side stage commentary box here at Alexandra Palace, where Michael Van Gerwen has raced into a 2-sets-to-love lead over Chris Dobey, but Dobey had a massive chance to equalise, and he had the average to beat MVG in that second set, Nico.
Did everything right apart from finishing the job. He had tops, he missed it low. He had 10s, he missed it left. He had 5s, he missed it just low. And then Van Gerwen comes in and steals the set with a 3-dart 74 out on double 16. I think that was a big moment in this match because you can't afford to let Van Gerwen get the jump on you, and Dobey unfortunately has allowed that to happen. Chris played better than Michael in that second set, but Van Gerwen still gets the victory. So 2-0 up. I think the only positive now that he has, apart from the fact that he played slightly better in set 2, is that this is now a 2-set game situation. They don't have another break until the end of set 4. If he plays well for the next 10 to 12 minutes, he can equalise.
And that's hopefully what he's been telling himself for his own perspective, because in these comfort breaks that last for 4 minutes, 59. You only have your own counsel for company. You can't speak to anybody. The match referee is there, tournament referee is there, but you can't speak to them. You basically keep your thoughts to yourself.
57.
And you can beat yourself up as well as G yourself up.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But something happened at the end of that second set. When Van Gerwen hit that 74 out, the one person he looked at with that huge, almost vintage celebration was at his friend, Vincent van der Voort, who was sitting very, very close to the corner of the VIP area. And if you want an idea of just how much Vincent means to Michael, if you've ever seen the movie Kickboxer, when Jean-Claude Van Damme is being beaten up by Tong Po, then all of a sudden, Jean-Claude Van Damme's brother turns up and he turns into a monster. That's what's happening tonight with Van der Voort in the building. The monster's back.
And I almost didn't recognise Vincent van der Voort without his orange dart shirt on that he's worn on that Ali Pali stage many times. And his pal Michael van Gerwen up there pins a 140 to get down to 48 to try and break the throw at the start of this set, and he'll get a chance because Dobey from 160 can't get anywhere near it. Only 80 scored. So 16 for double 16 for an early break. Van Gerwen wants double 16. Wires it on the outside, has to move to the right of the oche to get the angle for this final dart, and he's too far inside, so there is reprieve for Chris Dobey. This 80 has got to go, Nico.
He's got to start taking some chances. He's 3 from 11 on the doubles. He's got to be more efficient. That's a small 20. That's okay. Next one's got to be a big 20, which it is, and it's nice and low as well. So tops is open with one dart. He's just over the top. The outer ring is not his friend tonight.
25% on his doubles, not the percentage you want. 40%'s kind of the average. Van Gerwen's on 50% on his doubles, and he wants double 8, and he's bust the score by hitting double 16 next door.
Well, Van Gerwen closed the door in set 2. All of a sudden, the door is ajar at the start of set 3. Double top missed just low for Dobey. He's back on 10s. He's missed it low, but it's low enough so it doesn't bust. He's got one dart left. He's got to hit this, and he does. Very well done, because his confidence has been shaken on the doubles.
He very nearly bust that score by hitting double 15. The bed next door around 4 o'clock on the board did Dobey, the same way that Van Gerwen did, hitting double 16 next door to double 8, which was his target. But anyway, it's all semantics. It's 1-0 to Dobey in this third set.
95.
2 sets to love down to this very focused looking Michael van Gerwen.
But he's not playing at the same level as he was in the quarter-final against
40.
Street pal of Dobey, Callan Rids. That would have been a fascinating semi-final if they'd played each other. They could be in each other's gardens in about 500 steps.
We'd have just left you in here on your own. As our Northeast correspondent, me and Wilson Mason said, no, he's all right on his own with that one.
Yeah, but you'd have needed subtitles on talkSPORT. But this is not the same level from Van Gerwen overall. It's only a 93 average. Van Gerwen is gettable right now. Dobey's got to sense this.
In this set, he's only averaging 75 for his 3-dart average at the minute. Dobey's about 10 points ahead. 99 score with that visit. So he's down to a finish of 170 on the Van Gerwen throw. But Van Gerwen from 309's piling in the treble 19s. So he's down to 170 as well. So they both get a go at the biggest finish on the board.
Dobey's top corner of the 60 with another one in. Bullseye! Hello!
Third time lucky!
Sometimes you need something to galvanise you in a big match, especially the biggest one of your life. And 3,500 darts nutters here at Alexandra Palace have just seen the fourth 170 finish of the tournament.
And he'd missed Bull just south with one dart, just north with another. But with Van Gerwen lurking on the same outshot, Dobey goes 2-zip up in set 3 and a chance with the throw now to get a set back on his illustrious opponent.
Well, the only way that Dobey would feel any better than he does right now after hitting that 170 is if he'd hit it at St James's Park. Everybody's singing his name right now.
It'd be a bit windy out there though if he's trying to hit the 170 up on the pitch.
Especially right now, it'd be freezing.
Mind you, they played darts at the Schalke Arena in Gelsenkirchen, admittedly with the roof closed.
Yeah, 20,000 people watched that. Mensah Suljovic beating Dimitri Vandenberg in a final. That was back in 2018. That's the world record audience. 20,000 people to watch a game of darts.
Amazing. I was at the Al Schalke Arena in Gelsenkirchen in the summer for the Euros, and I was just trying to comprehend how a game of darts took place in that arena. Amazing stuff. But here at
Michael was there.
He was.
He was there. He got beaten by Vandenberg.
Now then, leg 3 of set 3. Dobey just struggling a little. He's down to a finish of 150, but once again 170 is the target, this time for Van Gerwen, but it won't go.
Ironically, the shot that Dobey's taken to get that 2-0 lead in set 3, he got 2 treble 20s, and he struggled to do that in the game. Here it's 2 treble 19s he needs for 150, but he starts with a treble 3, which leaves 141 with 2. Big 19, where's he going to go with the next one? He was a bit unsure, went for the bull and got a small 14, so not very good at all to leave 108.
9 hit from 74 for Van Gerwen, then he hits 25 for double top. Only just outside. So a chance for Dobey to win the set. Treble 19, 19 leaves double 16 for a 3-leg to 0 lead, and he takes the third set, pinning double 16. Suddenly his double percentage is on the increase, and he's got a set on the board. 2-1 Van Gerwen.
That's going to do Chris the world of good.
96.
So many question marks about his finishing in the first couple of sets. And the Dobey contingent went bananas just now as he's got his first set on the board. But with 2 ton-plus finishes in set 3, that might be just what he needs to get into the meaty part of this semi-final and ask questions of Michael, who stuttered right there in set 3.
He's got off to a decent start in set 4. You're listening to talkSPORT at the PDC World Darts Championship semi-finals. Later on tonight, Stephen Bunting takes on Luke Littler in the other semi-final for the right to face one of these two gentlemen we're watching now. Michael Van Gerwen, the 3-time champion. If you're just tuning in, the number 3 seed is 2 sets to 1 up in a race to 6 sets. It's the best of 11, but Chris Dobey from Bedlington in the northeast of England has just won set 3, so it's 2-1 to the green machine.
Michael's on 222 here after 9 darts at the start of set 4. Just looking down at the front row of the VIP area,
42.
Jaco van Bodegem, a business partner of Michael, Michael's close friend Harold and Vincent van der Voort, as well as a few other people in the MVG contingent. They look a bit worried at the minute. They don't know what's happening. This is a scruffy 3rd and 4th set.
But Dobey's got that problem again with the first dart that just dips below the treble 20. Van Gerwen's had one of those darts that hangs in between the first 2 and the point hasn't found its way through to the board. It's kind of dangling between the first 2.
That was remarkable. I don't know how that dart was dangling where it was. It was defying physics. 140 possibly for Dobey, gets it, leaves him on 100, which equalises the points total of Van Gerwen in the first leg of the 4th.
Double top for Van Gerwen. Oh, that's a great 2-dart kill from Van Gerwen. Brilliantly done. And done with such nonchalance. Takes the first leg of this 4th set. Better first dart from Dobey, but his 3rd dart's into small 3. Nowhere near the treble 19 that he was aiming for.
If you're not playing your best at this stage of a semi-final, you've just got to make peace with how you're playing. Don't panic. Just have a deep breath and say, right, if this is the kind of game it's going to be, This is the kind of game we have to win. Not every game in football is going to be 20 degrees, no wind. What are we going to see next from Michael van Gerwen? What are we going to see next on the stage from MVG? We've not had a 9-darter from him on this stage since 2013, and that was in a semi-final.
Against Barney.
James Wade.
So, 1-4-1 was the outshot. He hits a single 20. And the boos ring around Ali Pali.
Yeah, he could have hit 2 in a row in that game back in 2013. I think he had John Gwynn ready to say, I quit. That would have been the pinnacle of Gwynny's career, bless him.
64. But at the end of it all, he's still got to win the leg, Van Gerwen. Double 16 will do it. And he's pinned it for a 10-dart leg to go 2-0 up in set 4. And looking to go in at the next comfort break, 3-1 up.
That's not a bad improvement from leg 1, isn't it? He went 17-darter with a 100 finish and then took out a 10. It's almost as if that 100 checkout in leg 1 of the 4th set is walking him up. Some fabulous fluctuations in this game.
He might have had a hard stare from Vincent van der Voort in the front row and thought, right, better get to work.
Honestly,
although he's a gentle giant.
Vincent van der Voort, he could convince anybody into anything. He's got a stern look that could wake up a mummy.
Dobey trying to hang on to the coattails of Michael van Gerwen. Again, a sub-100 score. 359 Dobey, Van Gerwen 309. And now it's Dobey's turn to average around 80, which is what Michael was averaging in the previous set.
If you're going to win a semi-final like this, you've got to be able to win more than one set in a row. That's what Michael's already done by winning the first 2. All he has to do from this point is win every other set. That will be enough. That's a really good 140 from Michael. Leaves 73. Dobey in trouble at 2-0 down in the 4th on 225, and that first dart again is low.
And that normally tells you when the first dart dips below the treble 20s that the tricep muscle in the arm is tightening and you're underpitching your dart. That comes from nerves. 14 leaves tops for Van Gerwen, and he's 3-1 up, and another 100+ average in that set from Van Gerwen. 107 from MVG puts him 3-1 up and halfway to the final of the PDC World Darts Championships. Keep it here on talkSPORT for more darts on the radio next. Listening to talkSPORT at the PDC World Darts Championship semi-finals. We're also on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel for our watch-alongs. There's also loads of brilliant interview content on there. We launched the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel at the start of these championships, and we've already had over 1 million views of our content. Thank you so much. If you've liked and subscribed, do that at will, and we'll keep throwing the good stuff at you in terms of content from this tournament and beyond. Ian Danter and Paul Nicholson with you in the commentary box. This first semi-final sees Michael van Gerwen, the three-time champion, 3 sets to 1 up on Chris Dobey in a best of 11 set match. So the first of 6 goes through. We've still got Stephen Bunting against Luke Littler to come as well for the other semi-final. And then once we're done, then Jason Cundy and Darren Ambrose will be on with the sports bar, but they might be doing a very short sports bar. I get the feeling they're only going to be working for about an hour.
Well, if it's anything like 2018, when Van Gerwen was playing cross, that game went past midnight. Everybody had to get taxis home because the trains weren't even running anymore. Well, that fourth set was an opportunity for Dobey, wasn't it? But unfortunately, he wasn't able to take it. In that set, we saw the 7th player of the championship getting a 10-dart leg. And Van Gerwen adds his name to the likes of Price, De Graaf, Peter Wright, Johnny Clayton, Ryan Searle and Luke Littler, who have found themselves getting an almost perfect leg.
Well, Dobey has the darts in set 5 and is down to a 1-3-6 finish.
96.
Van Gerwen, he's down to a 1-2-6 finish, so Dobey gets first dibs. Single 20 leaves 1-1-6 that can't go in a 2-dart clear out.
58.
So he has to try and lay up for a 2-dart finish, but Van Gerwen, 1-2-6 required. He hits 19. So treble 19 would leave the bullseye, and he's missed the treble, and it's only a single. 98. So Dobey's back in.
He's got 78 here. This is on the Dobey throw. This is crucial. Michael's waiting on 28. Dobey gets a treble 18. Misses double 12 low. This double 6 is very important, and he misses it right by a centimetre. Van Gerwen is getting too many opportunities.
Double 14 is pinned with just the 1 dart. That's how you do it. And Michael van Gerwen consistently does it. He's 56% on his doubles in this match alone. He's hit 10 out of the 18 he's attempted.
He's not up on his average. He was in the first set and he was in set 4. But his doubles overall, Van Gerwen has been supreme, raising his level by 10% from the entire event. Dobey is down in both metrics, average and doubles. Maybe a sign of first semi-final nerves, maybe?
It could well be. That stage does funny things to players, both positive and negative. It's funny that certain dart stages, Paul Nicholson alongside me will tell you
46.
that Winter Gardens in Blackpool, where we bring in the match play, still gives him the heebie-jeebies as a stage.
If somebody was to walk up to me right now and say, we'll give you a wild card for next year's match play, I'd say, no thanks. I'm all right.
Dobey got over that hump of losing 5-4 to Rob Cross last year by getting through to this stage, but he's up against an opponent here in Van Gerwen who is averaging over 100 in this set. Good visit from Dobey, but not down to a finish. Trying to break back here against Van Gerwen, who's 3 sets to 1 up and 1 leg up in this 5th set, and he's down to a finish first of 108.
Looks at ease as well. There's a first dart that Dobey can use. Middle of the 60, but only walks away with a ton. Even when he gets that first dart right, something's not clicking on the overall scheme of this match as Van Gerwen goes for a 108 finish, misses tops after finding the treble 20 in the single 8. Dobey 124. He's got history with this shot on this stage.
Oh, he hits a single 1, so it can't go. 104 left, went back to the treble 20s. And Van Gerwen can go 2 zip up in short order. Tops in 8 and he's underneath. Down to double 10. That's more like it. 3 sets to 1 up and 2 legs to 0 up, Michael van Gerwen.
You think about who's in the semi-finals tonight. Stephen Bunting has played in a semi-final before here, which means he's played in a game that is worth, on its own, as a standalone match, £100,000. Van Gerwen has played in a stack of £100,000 games. Luke Littler played in last year's semis. So Dobey's the only person who was here for the first time playing for this much money in one game of darts.
And if he was to win tonight, Dobey, he would go 4th in the world on ranking money and ranking points, and therefore he would be an automatic pick for next year's Premier League tournament.
Correct. Automatic. And Stephen Bunting is in the same boat. If he beats Littler tonight, he will break the top 4 in the world rankings for the very first time. If you want to be in the Premier League, it's as simple as that. You just make the top 4 in the world. Van Gerwen's going to be there, and he's in the 60 here from 227. Goes down to the 70. Oh, I thought he was going to go 17s there, Dan. He went for the 19s. That was a curious play.
He's still left on an outshot of 128 with Dobey back on 250, and that first dart is letting Dobey down time and time again. This time it drops into single 1 below the treble line. 128 for Van Gerwen for the 5th set. And he's going around the board chasing a treble. Only 58 scored, so around 70 left for the Dutchman to go 4 sets to 1 up and just 2 away from victory.
A couple of rounds ago, do you remember when Dobey was having a problem on double 16 and double 8, and he decided towards the end to use tops a little bit more? He evolved at the end. If he doesn't evolve soon, this game could be over. Van Gerwen's on 70 to win the set.
Treble 18 hit for double 8, and he's wired the second dart at it on the outside. So Dobey's got a pretty hefty outshot here, but he's hit a 170 already tonight. 152 required. Treble 20 hit another one, would leave double 16. Oh, it's deflected just underneath, off the first dart, and the chance is gone.
Chance is gone, and the set might be gone as well. Van Gerwen on double 8, misses it just outside, but it's a peach of a marker. But he goes further away with dart 2, and then doesn't hit dart 3. This is a freebie for Dobey, but this is just to hold his own throw to stay in the set. 52 he needs. Double 16 is the target after the single 20 is found. Misses double 16 just to the right. The double 8 is found. The English contingent of the crowd loved that one, but that's only the first yard of trying to get into this set.
And that was a collector's item from Van Gerwen. 3 darts at a double, all of which stayed outside the double 8 bed. Now Dobey's got to follow it up with a break of throw, otherwise it will be 4-zip. And he's come downstairs after a good first start and picks off 6 19s. 174 taken out by Chris Dobey. Good start.
Even when he finds that 60 with the first start, it was a little low. That's why he had to switch. But a 174 start, it's not bad. What does he get with visit 2? Just above the 60, so the 9-dart chance is gone for now, and Van Gerwen is already on 230. Him having the throw here in leg 4 is crucial.
Well, Dobey's definitely not thinking about a 9-darter right now. He's just thinking about how he can hang on and try and touch the hem of the garment that is Michael Van Gerwen, who's playing some very, very solid darts. Another dart that just drifts below the treble 20 for Dobey. Leaves him on a finish of 146, but Van Gerwen wants 140 for the set. 2 treble 20s for double 10, and he's just outside.
Yeah, this Dobey 146, it should have been 127 or better. This is hard. It's got to be 2 treble 19s. He's got the first one. The chance is on. Second one drifts all the way to the right into the big 3, and the chance is off. And Van Gerwen, who's already had set darts in the previous leg, is at the same height on the board, but at the other side on double 10.
With 3 darts in hand. Only needs 1 though. And that puts Van Gerwen just 2 sets away from another world final. And Chris Dobey has got loads of work to do here in his first PDC semi-final at the World Championships. It is Michael Van Gerwen 4, Chris Dobey 1 in a race to 6. Join us next for more darts action. Darts on the radio, it works. sets away from a 7th world final, Paul Nicholson, and he averaged 97 in that last set, and Chris Dobey has certain metrics on which he simply has to improve, or this game won't last much longer.
Correct. It might even be over in the next 2 sets before there's another comfort break. This is where Michael will really want to push forward to get through, to have maximum rest ahead of the biggest occasion in world darts that the world offers. But only one maximum for Chris Dobey. And that's after 19 legs. That is way down on the norm. He should have at least 6 or 7 by now, and I'm talking about at least.
Yeah, he's got 36 for the tournament before tonight. So that's 9 average per match. That's a perfect first dart, Dobey. There could be a maximum here coming in as soon as we're talking about it. Whoa, spooky, pops one in. Second of the night.
I should start talking about more goals for Sandro Tonali, shouldn't I?
He's not in the side to score goals.
I still like it when he scores them. Well, Dobey, short of the 60 in this first dart, and he's again has to switch. Can't stay there, but he might have to stay there because he's on 230. 44. He's decided to move to the 18s to try and leave a finish, and he's found a small 4. Nothing seems to be clicking here in a long-term setting. He's had short course victories like the 170 finish, winning the 3rd set, but aside from that, it's been hard work.
He's trying to break the throw of Van Gerwen here at the start of this 6th set.
96.
And he has got down to a finish of 90. Van Gerwen has started poorly in this set, back on 2-1-6 less these darts. Whilst Paul Nicholson mentioned Sandro Tonali, gives me a chance to remind you that Newcastle are in London on Saturday at Tottenham, live on talkSPORT as part of game day. 12:30 kickoff. Our coverage starts at 11. Dobey wants double 5 to break the throw. It won't go. He might be back. Van Gerwen's on 158 to hold.
We have seen this hit in this tournament. 1, 2 treble 20s, double 19! Oh my word, that's impressive. And that is a dagger to the heart of Chris Dobey from the greatest player of the last 15 years. Astonishing from Van Gerwen to get his 3rd ton plus checkout of the game.
I did say he might be back. As it turns out, that is a 3rd ton plus checkout from MVG.
Let's be frank, even though my name's Paul. Michael Van Gerwen, over the last couple of years, has been in the doldrums for him. The only reason we can say that he's back is if he wins this tournament. Chris Dobey's son Cole in the audience, probably his biggest fan. Loving that 180, his 3rd and his 2nd of the set. But it's not 180s he needs, it's legs.
Yeah, Van Gerwen's had major dental surgery in the last 12 to 18 months that's taken his toll physically and mentally on Van Gerwen, but he is looking laser focused here tonight in this semi-final. He looked brilliant against Ridds as well in the quarter-final, and Callan Ridds pushed him all the way. Dobey's not pushing him at the moment.
47.
No, he's not. He leaves 41 after 12 darts here. It's a better leg from Chris, but he's going to have company in the finishing zone right now. But Van Gerwen sits on 104, with Dobey looking to equalise at 1 leg all in the 6th set with double 16. Single 9 is good. Double 16 will feel even better. That kind of leg is what he needs right now. That 13, 14 range. Even 15's good enough as long as he gets that 5th visit to the board. No guarantee though.
And he does amazingly have less trebleless visits in this match than his opponent. 21 trebleless visits for Chris Dobey, 22 for Van Gerwen. But in all other aspects, MVG is in a better place.
Well, just imagine if Van Gerwen had not hit that 158 in the first leg of this set. He would be 2-0 down, and this would be a really good start of a comeback. 96. The treble 19s have been excellent from Chris here tonight. He's needed every single one of them.
Yep.
And he's going to go back there when he's on 271 upon his return.
96.
Again, a real hush around Ali Pali. The punters are just taking this in. They're engrossed in what's happening up on that stage. And from treble 19, he's going to stay down there. Looks for the bull. 95 scored, so he's not on a finish, Dobey. 176 to try and break the Van Gerwen throw.
Isn't it amazing, Dance, the difference between the pre-Christmas crowd and the post-Christmas crowd? It's like night and day.
Well, they make a lot of noise when they want to here, but they're just watching Dobey come down from 176, 2 treble 20s and a 16, leaving himself on tops to break the Van Gerwen throw. 153 though. It could go. Double 18. Oh, he's a whisker away. He broke Dobey's heart with that 158 before, and he wasn't far off doing it again.
Well, that would have been sensational. But that is a 2-1 lead for Dobey in set 6. Big deep breath for the man from Bedlington in South East Northumberland. Not famous for many things, Bedlington. Famous for Rids, famous for Dobey and darts,
57.
famous for the Terriers, the non-league football team, and that's about it.
Both players struggling at the start of this fourth leg of the 6th set, but a treble 18 from Van Gerwen gives him a half a dart lead. That's a better first start from Dobey. Follows it in with a second in the red bit, and a fourth maximum suddenly transpires for Hollywood.
Something is clicking here. Is it clicking too late, I wonder? 4 sets to 1 down, the number 15 seed Dobey. I don't think he's going to be the 15 seed at this tournament next year. I think that'll have a single digit next to his name. 264, small 20 again with the first start and can't recover.
It's clicking occasionally, but not over a sustained period for Chris Dobey. MVG pops in a 134 with 6 19s in that visit, but he's not on a finish. Dobey from 220 should get down to maybe a 2 dart kill here, maybe not now. Only 60 scored for Hollywood.
This is a precarious situation for Chris. The last thing you want is to go 5 sets to 1 down in a race to 6. Van Gerwen 2 treble 20s, and he gets the 25. The exterior of the bullseye to leave 36. Dobey needs 160 for the set. First start 60, it's awkward, really awkward. Goes to the right-hand side to open it up, and he goes too far right into the treble 1.
So he's looking down at 19s and only picks off a single 82 scored. So to level it up in set 6, double 18 for Michael Van Gerwen, gets that. And now MVG will have the darts in the deciding leg for a chance to go 5-1 up in a race to 6 here on talkSPORT.
It's a really good set, this. Dobey averaging just over 100, Van Gerwen around 96, and that's happening a lot. Now, if you don't remember the championship in 2012, it was a famous one where James Wade missed a dart to make the final. He was 5 sets to 1 up against Adrian Lewis and lost 6-5. In the other semi-final, Andy Hamilton was 5 sets to 1 down. Simon Whitlock lost that match to Hamilton by 6 sets to 5. Because of that maximum, the 5th of the match for Van Gerwen, Dobey might have to do the same.
Yeah, he's closing in on a 5-1 lead, Van Gerwen from 2-9, looking completely focused. 6 more 19s on the cover. Magnificent darts from Van Gerwen, pushing his average for this set back up above 100. Dobey's there too, but he's just not clinical enough.
95 to be 5 sets to 1 up, Michael Van Gerwen. Small 19 leaves 76. Small 20 leaves him laying up for tops via a big 16, and he's got time on his side. It looks inevitable that Dobey will be 4 sets behind.
96.
Well, he's left himself on a finish, but it could all be academic with Van Gerwen on tops, and there it is, academic indeed. 5-1. Michael Van Gerwen is 1 set away from the final, where he will take on either Stephen Bunting or Luke Littler, were he to get there.
57.
Chris Dobey's now got to raise his average, raise his game, raise his finishing, everything to levels even he probably hasn't achieved before in order to get back into this one. Because Van Gerwen pops in a max, as if to say at the start of the sixth set, you ain't catching me.
That was a statement 180, wasn't it?
134.
It does feel as if Van Gerwen's really wanting to make the final with a statement, and it might just be one of the perfect kind. 11 maximums in this match, 7 from Michael Van Gerwen, but all he has got on his mind right now is winning the first leg of the 7th set with a 9.
So it's on, 1-4-1 the outshot. Only a single 20 though, so once again dart 7 lets the player down as it did earlier. And he's not even on a 10 dart leg with the 57 that he scored in the end. But 84 left for Van Gerwen, the number 3 seed. Again, this is to break the throw at the start of a set.
It is. Treble 20, bottom right corner of it as well. Double 12, missed high for Michael Van Gerwen, then 72. Slightly low, giving Dobey an olive branch here. I feel like we keep saying this, but this has got to go. It's so drastic. If he's going to have a comeback, it's got to start now. Top right corner of the 60, then a single, needs tops. Climb the ladder, Chris. Hits tops. Needed that one to add to his top plus finish collection of 108 and 170. That one's somewhere in the middle, and he cracks a smile. Maybe he can enjoy this semi-final knowing there's zero pressure on him now.
Yeah, nothing to lose at this point for Chris Dobey. Just let the darts flow. Just play.
84.
Don't think, just play.
What is it Will Smith once said? It's
Wiki Wild Wild West.
It's a game that can't be won. It's a game that can only be played. When he played Bagger Vance. That's a very philosophical statement, but it's so true. Don't try and perfect a game. Just play it.
It's certainly more profound than getting jiggy with it. Van Gerwen getting good at the darts. Another pick-off of treble 18. And the way he's walking back to his mark on the stage, just so nonchalant and cool and calm and collected. He's been here so often. 1-3-4 to go, one leg apiece. He wants double 16 and just misses it on the wire, bends the wire slightly in, but he'll be back for 2 16s to break, well, to hold throw rather, and make it 1-1 in this 7th set.
You don't fancy he's going to miss double 16 this time, Van Gerwen? He does. He's on double 8. He's missed that slightly left as well. Dart 3 is a beauty. He wants this done in 7 sets. He doesn't want there to be another comfort break, that's for sure. We've had 26 legs in this contest. It is 16-10 Van Gerwen.
140.
At the end of this leg, it will be 27 legs completed. And when he played in that infamous semi-final against Cross in 2018, there were twice as many legs as that. There were 54 legs in that semi-final, including 11 in the last set. The longest semi-final in Ali Pali history.
And when you consider that Callan Ridge actually beat Van Gerwen in legs taken in that quarter-final, 18-16, just shows you the value of set play and knowing when to take out those big finishes at the appropriate moments.
Yeah, 34 legs in that contest in the quarterfinals. There was 20 more against Cross. 20! 7 years ago.
That was our first year of darts on the radio. And we won an award for our coverage of last year's World Championships, which we were delighted to receive
96.
in the summer. And back in next summer, we'll be back in Blackpool for the World Match Play at the Winter Gardens in July. Chris Dobey should be there. He wants to be in the final tomorrow night,
67.
but he's got a mountain to climb. 158, he's down to a finish on throw in leg 3 of this 7th set. Van Gerwen trying to get down to a finish himself, and 140 will take him down to a 2-dart kill of 82.
158 for Dobey. It's been hit by Van Gerwen, but it's not going to be hit by the Northumbrian. Goes for the 19s and gets 6 of them. 2 treble 19s leaves double 12. But Van Gerwen to beat 501 points from the final. He needs a single 17 in tops for an 82 out. Clinical. Just call him Dr. Van Gerwen, because the prescription has just been sent. And he is now 1 leg away from his 7th final here at Alexandra Palace since 2013.
When he got to the final a couple of years ago against Michael Smith, the narrative was all about Michael Smith version 2.0, and would he finally get the job done? And he edged out Van Gerwen, and that hurt MVG. And boy, how he's responded this year. He may well have been number 3 seed coming into this tournament, but he wasn't the name on everybody's lips. He was in Gary Anderson's half of the draw, and everybody was talking far more about the Flying Scotsman than they were about Van Gerwen.
Absolutely. Dobey's not going to be perfect here. He started with 4 treble 20s. Didn't get dart number 5 in the 19s region. Van Gerwen is 3 points ahead here on 2-2-1. He is sprinting to the finish. 2 trebles. Gets a 3rd. That might be the last maximum of this match. Van Gerwen can finish with an 11 darter. It doesn't matter what Dobey does here from 2-2-4. The first finalist at the PDC World Darts Championship of 2025 could be rubber stamped right now.
9 for double 16 is the outshot. Double 16 for a 12 darter. Why is it on the outside? And there is just a ghost of a chance for Chris Dobey to keep this match alive. 164 is his outshot, but it won't go. He went for treble 19. And so Nico, Van Gerwen back in for 32 to get to his 7th World Darts final. And there it is! Michael Van Gerwen makes light work of Chris Dobey in the end. Hollywood could only take a set of the 3-time world champion. And Van Gerwen, with an average a shade just under 100, powers his way through to tomorrow night's final live on talkSPORT. 8 maximums, 43% on his doubles, pretty consistent with what he's been doing throughout this tournament. And in his first semi-final, Chris Dobey just found he could not live with the power of the green machine.
It'll be fascinating to get the words of Chris Dobey. It's been a brilliant tournament, his best ever world championship. It's made him a top 10 player in the world, and he should be extremely proud of that. But Van Gerwen, he had the better start. And when you conduct the post-mortem on that 7-set match in the semi-finals, Dobey will understand that when he won set 3 by 3 legs to 0, if he'd won set 4, you just get the feeling that the game was on. But Van Gerwen took the lead, and what did we say at the start? He is a brilliant front runner. He did not look back, and now he's looking forward to another final where he wants to embellish on his record of being a 3-time champion. He's had to wait a long time for the 4th. It might be tomorrow.
So MVG through to tomorrow night's final, but who will he face? Will it be the self-styled People's Champion, Stephen Bunting from St Helens, or will it be the man, the young man from just up the road in Warrington, Luke Littler, last year's beaten finalist and the prodigy, the child prodigy of world darts? They clash next on the stage in front of us, and Mark Wilson and Chris Mason will bring you exclusive radio commentary of that. But it's congratulations to Michael Van Gerwen, who's through to tomorrow night's final. He beats Chris Dobey by 6 sets to 1, and you are listening to coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com.
The World Darts